Hi there, everybody. In this video, I wanted to go over some easy, natural, kind of herbal plant remedies that I use daily to keep my vibration high, and some that now I've incorporated and I'm doing daily versus just every week or every once in a while to, again, keep my vibration high in this kind of uncertain, a lot of fear kind of circulating and going on and uncertainty. Now, when speaking of high vibration, we immediately have to talk about rose. Rose is the highest vibrational flower out there, the highest vibrational plant. So I've used a rose essential oil perfume, meaning it doesn't have any other additives or toxic chemicals, just in the past, just as my own perfume when I'm not feeling very positive, or I just kind of I'm feeling a little off that day. And so it's a good way, it's a good way for me to kind of my own positive kick in the butt to raise my vibration. And this, you can use an essential oil if you want. Those are really, really concentrated. Remember that. So you'll want to usually put it in a carrier oil. Now, this is jojoba oil, spelled with a J. And I'm showing you that because this is the closest oil to our own natural oil on our skin, which is called sebum. So if you want to use a carrier oil, then this is a great one. It can be a little pricey, so that's why the smaller little jar. That's why another option would be coconut oil. This is just Dr. Bronner's. This is unrefined. You always want to use unrefined, whether you're using it for body stuff, whether you're using it for cooking or baking, because refined is processed and too hard on the liver. So just keep that in mind, and just add a few drops to, a few tablespoons of a carrier oil, and you can add some rose essential oil to it. If you're looking for a super clean perfume brand that doesn't use any aroma chemicals or any synthetics, I would suggest Heretic. It's spelled Heretic, and that's Dirty Grass, a different perfume, but they have a Dirty Rose one, and so it's a come in a small bottle. They have a bigger one too. That's a nice thing to do. Or you can just kind of look for some concentrated rose perfume oil. So that's really, really nice to have around. You can make a spray and spray it on your sheets even before you go to bed, or again, essential oil diffuser. If you don't have an essential oil diffuser, you can always take some and put it on a towel and put it in the corner of your shower, and it will diffuse while you're taking a shower. That's super easy. No special equipment required. Also, on that note too, when we're talking kind of about essential oils and vibration, eucalyptus specifically is good for breaking up like mucus in the lungs. So, and we know that this virus attacks the lungs, but you can again sprinkle some on a towel, throw it in the corner of your shower, and when you're showering, the steam will and you'll be able to inhale it that way. Now, when we're talking about kind of essential oils, I do want to bring up lavender. This is something I've kind of started to do daily now, but was not part of my daily routine before. I initially started using it on advice from my naturopath because the only airline that filters their air is Emirates. Every other airline, it's not filtered, so you're breathing the air that everybody else is breathing. So she would always tell me, okay, take lavender essential oil and just put some on the ends of your nostrils every 2 hours, and it's antibacterial, and that will protect you. So now if you're afraid or a little uncertain about going into places where there's a lot of people, and maybe this is your form of a mask, so to speak, and if it gives you comfort and clarity and peace, so be it. Let this be. Do whatever you need to do, whether it's gloves, whether it's a mask, whether it's this is mine, and it's also really nice. It's also really relaxing. So I'll put this on before I head to the grocery store, and if anything, just gives you a little bit of peace of mind. Now, the other thing, we can't go talking about essentials without talking about ginger. And this is from Lily Choi. It is spelled Lilychoi. I follow her on Instagram. I love all of her tinctures. They're all handmade. They're in small batches. I don't have the list with me. It's in my Instagram. I'll look it up again. I have 2 posts on it. I've posted it twice about how great the ginger is. And she says specifically for this, it's just very, very highly concentrated is what this is. It's not anything like other ingredients in here. And she says that you can use it if you have gum disease, you let it sit in your mouth for a little bit. If you have knee pain, you put a few drops in your knee. Skin cancer, you put it on there. As maintenance, it says I take it 3 times a day. It says I think you can take it up to 4 times a day. So I'll shake it, and then I'll take it right on my tongue. You can take it in water, but I have taken this daily for maybe over a year now, because ginger, it pulls mucus out of the body and it adds that heat. And why we need that heat is because we are so depleted in that heat and yang. Things like air conditioning deplete it, stress, going all the time depletes it. And the posts that I've shared before from her talk about the 5 stages, the 5 levels of dampness. And now everybody has some sort of dampness in the body. When we think about dampness, we want heat to pull that out. So stage 5 is things like cancer. I think 4 is like fibroids and PCOS. 2 or 3 is like achy joints, because the dampness is getting a little more into the body. So this is great. Just again, daily maintenance. I would encourage you to look at her posts. She has a powder as well that you can add to cooking. But don't fear if you don't have this. It's super easy just to do regular old knob of ginger. Now, this is one of the 3 things when I first started following Organic Olivia. She was the one who just helped me navigate the whole world of natural health when I first started. This is one of the 3 things she would take daily. I think the other one was a sweet potato. The sweet potato looks like a spleen, and we can talk about that later and why that's so good. And I know the other one was sweet potato, and I think the third one was plantains. But she would talk about how she would drink ginger tea daily. Again, it helps draw mucus out of the body. It gives you that boost of heat. Again, we want to decrease that dampness, because everybody has some sort of dampness. It will usually settle while already there's a weakness or toxins in the body. And so you can just take ginger. It's still available at the stores, and you can just peel it and then slice off 3-4 little medallions and throw them in a cup of hot water and have that daily. So have a hot cup of that daily, and then that way you don't have to deal with the tea bag, and is the glue that they use for the tea bag, is that toxic or is it not toxic, all that kind of stuff. Is the tea bag bleached with chlorine? So that's why, again, we keep things whole, we keep things simple, and just ginger is really all you need. And try to have it in the morning. The yang is natural in the atmosphere in the morning, and we start to get to yin, which is feminine energy, in the afternoon and the evening, because we're kind of winding down our day. We're moving with the flow of nature. It rises with the sun. Our digestion is highest when the sun is highest in the sky, and then it dissipates. And ginger is also good for digestion too as well. Which brings me to next point, digestive enzymes. So much to say on this, but digestive enzymes are the spark of life. If you are eating and you're under stress, if you are eating and you're scrolling through your phone or watching TV, there is no way your body is producing enough stomach acid to break down your food. Also, I think it's at like 40 or 45, stomach acid drops off, and then at 60 it falls off a cliff, regardless of gender, regardless of diet. That's a whole separate thing on its own. My naturopath taught me that, but digestive enzymes are the spark of life, especially if we're eating things that have not been soaked, to remove that protective coating, which means our body works so hard to try and break it down, but it doesn't. So it pulls all these minerals and vitamins out of our body to try and break it down, and it doesn't. And those things would be all nuts, beans, legumes, grains, so quinoa, rice, and seeds as well. So really things like almond butter should be sprouted almond butter, but a whole sprouted thing needs to be a separate video. So if I'm doing that, everything in my house is sprouted, from chickpea flour to hummus to almond butter. If it's not, when I'm going out to eat somewhere, I take digestive enzymes. And these can be found on my website. If you go to any blog post, it's always in the sidebar. I say go there because it changes. Sometimes I find out a brand is bought out by a larger corporation that I don't really approve of their practices or missions, so it always changes. And these are again, I just got a new thing in from Amazon like 2 days ago. Now, something else I take daily. I want to make sure we get those in before the extras. This is magnesium oil. This is also on my site. It's one of my first health blog posts. Why? Because magnesium is needed by over 300 functions in the body, yet it is the fourth most abundant mineral in the body, but the first one to be depleted when we are under stress. And this is something I do daily. Along with the ginger, I do these daily without fail. Now, I say it in a spray because it's very hard to absorb from food. And so you spray it onto your torso, your arms, your legs, just before you shower or after you shower or before bed. You can spray it on the bottom of your feet, help you sleep, because that's the best way for it to be absorbed. In supplements, it also really isn't absorbed, and in food, it's very hard for us to absorb. And it is the first mineral to be depleted under stress. My naturopath also told me that 80% is needed by the heart. So that's kind of key too. And there is a book, I think it's called The Magnesium Miracle. I haven't read it, but I know Organic Olivia had talked a lot about that. So that is something I take daily without fail. For me, when I first started taking it, it made all my period cramps go away. And I think about muscles when they're cramping up because they don't have magnesium to keep things flowing. Now, on a higher perspective, on a higher level, it all went away because I was shifting things. Remember, feminine energy is intuition. What we're going through right now, we're going to bring more feminine intuition forward. We're not seeing it as extra or only when we have time for it, not operating always from the masculine, which is action, doing, going, the right side of the body. So feminine energy, think about it, is kind of trusting that flow. We hear guidance on the left side, and then we act, masculine energy on the right side. We trust the flow. We're in the flow. Things are effortless. They're going, they're moving. Hence, we call menstrual cycles, I'm on my flow, or I'm in the flow. So I was starting to trust more of the flow because I was learning how guidance was coming through and to put my faith in the unseen. And so I wasn't having so much pain anymore. And why so much pain? We've accepted that PMS and cramps and stuff are normal. Well, because feminine energy has been just repressed and shut down for so long. So it's all connected. Remember, it has to shift in a mental, emotional realm first, and then it's echoed in the body. It doesn't happen in the body first here. Spirit is you. The mind and the body are tools. So this is why most people won't necessarily heal, because they're not ready to shift it here. They're just going to take a pill and go here because they're not ready to dive deep into their own whatever you want to call it, veils, limiting beliefs, crap, BS, any of that, because it takes some really inward reflection, some time to do that. So magnesium oil is my go-to. This is also on my site. I would say go to it because it'll just be a post on magnesium, less stress, more magnesium oil, because Amazon will pull up, there's a lotion with melatonin in it. There's another like lotion for sensitive skin. So there's all sorts of different ones by this brand. This is I really like this brand. That's why I'm saying, go to my site. And my site is lifting-the-veil.com. It has dashes in between the words instead of being lifting the veil, because otherwise it looks like lifting the evil, which is kind of what it is. So it's lifting-the-veil.com. Then go to the blog under health. You'll see that, and you'll also see digestive enzymes. Now, one other thing that is kind of helpful too, sage will help kill any bacteria in the air, and Palo Santo will raise the vibration. So I've been doing this a little bit more, and it's just really calming and really, really nice to do. Now, to end on a style note, this is kind of like my goddess Cleopatra necklace, so I thought this was appropriate for what's going on right now. And then I added in this ring. It's a turquoise ring. It's faux, but I added it in because Turquoise is the universally most flattering color because it has equal amounts of cool and warm tones. So it goes with everything. It looks great with red, it looks great with yellow, it looks great with pink, it looks great with navy, it looks great with white. So it is, if you're looking for something for an accessory that across the board, you could go for a turquoise necklace. So thanks again, and I'll see you soon.